Here's what we're going to do it Ari Shaffir style. What he does is he starts recording his podcast and he doesn't tell you.
Oh, but you just told us.
Yeah, I know. But then he starts the episode when it gets funny.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah, so he waits until funny shit's happening and then he edits it there. But I'm not one of these like work doing kind of guys.
So this is all the podcast.
Yeah, so it's already started. So if you're listening right now, there is nothing preceding what I just said.
There's a lot
right
of less funny than this stuff.
Yeah.
If you can imagine that.
Adam is gone for this episode, thank God.
We replaced him with a much funnier Jew.
Yeah.
Sam Morrill is here.
Jew upgrade. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
You guys, here's what I think about the
Adam's
Democrats.
back, everyone.
Yeah.
Adam's back and he's being gay.
Yeah, he is.
Which is very on brand.
He really stunk it up on the last episode.
I just looked at your shirt and I realized you're wearing the same shirt from last night.
Oh, yeah.
Because that means you got laid.
Oh, yeah. We got head, baby.
That's interesting because I've been wearing the same shirt for probably 7 days now. And it means, the exact opposite.
Yeah, you got Martha's Vineyard and you got your little sea captain hat.
Yeah, dude. I'm on the Downeaster Alexa. The classic Billy Joel tune.
The Down syndrome Alexa.
What possessed him to write that song? I'm gonna write a motherfucking... This is gonna be about boat dudes. That's what I'm gonna imagine. I'm a boat dude for
Isn't
this
he from Long Island?
Yeah.
You know, he's from the Bronx, actually.
Oh, is he?
He lives in Long Island. Yeah,
He's from the Bronx, really?
Yeah.
You could be a little Jew in the Bronx.
He's
Puerto Rican.
Like 20 years? How long?
Billy Joel's Puerto Rican.
How long has he written? He's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Wilhelmo Joel.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
He probably wrote the soundtrack for some Disney movie that no one saw.
Yeah, that's
one of those Disney movies where it's like House Fans by Disney. They just
that Avenue Q money. That's smart. Broadway money.
Yeah.
I knew the kid who's. I think his dad like contributed to that, and he ended up like murdering someone.
What the fuck?
He ended up murdering someone in Soho House, and it was like the front page of the Post for like a year.
To Avenue
And I was like, I used to play ball with that guy. He was always nice to me. I guess he's not that nice. He strangles someone to death in a bathtub.
That's crazy. Did you think that was always inside of him, or maybe he like flipped? I always wonder that. Like, what if I murder somebody someday, and then I'm like, I guess I was always that guy.
I guess you just don't know.
I feel like it could happen to anybody. Like something happens, and then you get pissed off, and you murder somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something happens. You methodically kill small woodland creatures, work your way up to human until you're, comfortable. You start like a bunny rabbit and then like the whole deer. And
that's not everybody, because a lot of these forensic files, a lot of people, how many people just kill for money?
Yeah.
It's like that. And it's like, by the way, no one ever died. If you fall down a flight of stairs, it was a murder.
That's the most common motive.
No one falls down a flight of stairs.
That's the most common motive is like fucking, financial shit.
And it's like I can't believe they think they're going to get away with it. There's always like, we took out a life insurance policy 2 weeks ago, and then Grandma just fell.
He went to the gun store and the insurance, and then got an insurance policy, and then our grandma had 18 shots in the back of her head.
You say who falls down the stairs, and that literally happened to my grandmother's friend.
Really?
Her lifelong friend. She went to nursing school with her in the 40s. They've known each other since.
What was nursing school back then? It was just like
I don't know how to like keep band-aids away from black people. Just make sure they don't get their hands on them. It'll dirty them up. Back then they reused Band-Aids.
Yeah, those were black people Band-Aids.
Yeah.
After white people gotta go.
Yeah.
You sent them to the...
But yeah, no, she had known her for like her whole life. It was her best friend, and her best friend was over like visiting at their house, and she had to go upstairs to like go to the bathroom or something, and so she's going up the stairs and like just misses her grasp, and she's like whoop, and then in front of my grandma falls backwards and just splits her fucking head open.
In front of her?
Yeah, blood pouring out of her head.
Holy shit.
I was about to make a joke until you said blood pouring out of her head.
My grandma luckily doesn't listen to Cum Town, so that's one of her friend dying. Oh yeah, it was a fucking nightmare.
That's awful.
Yeah, like she was in the hospital, and then the family was like kind of blaming my grandma and grandpa.
She left out the banana peel, you know?
Yeah. They're like, you just couldn't give up those damn bananas, could you? You're 87 years old. You don't need to eat those bananas all day long.
Have you guys ever seen someone actually slip on a banana peel? It's one of the funniest things on earth.
I don't think I've seen
I've
that.
witnessed it. It was the best thing.
I saw a guy. I was doing that Bethesda Hyatt show, that Kurt Shackelford show. And me and Joe Robinson are out in the lobby talking, and there's like this guy who's like, he's like a big dude. He's a middle-aged dude. He's probably like 6'3", like, 300 some pounds. And I just hear this like awful like that kind of noise.
No.
And me and Joe look over, and they have these like marble stairs with like an edge like this, like a fucking 90-degree edge on each step. And I look over, and this guy's just face down. He looks like he's laying on the stairs. And it like takes a second. We're like, what the fuck? And then we realize he just tripped and went directly. And so I run over to him, and like, I'm like, sir, are you okay? And he's just out cold.
Holy shit.
He's not responsive. And I hold his head and like, go to roll him over. I'm making sure his neck doesn't shift at all. Like I know what the fuck I'm doing, but
it is kind of, that is like the classic comedy that the guy's too fat to pull over.
Yeah. Well, I start lifting him, and it's almost like someone like, peeling duct tape off something. You just hear the skin in his head is peeling off the step. And there's a deep groove, and blood just starts pouring out. I'm like, okay, well, I just like place him back. Place him back. And as I'm like placing him back, he like comes to, and he's like, because he's making the sound a guy makes when he's knocked the fuck out, which is that like, when their breathing's all fucked up. And then he comes to, and he's like, he doesn't know where he is and shit. I'm like, do you know what day it is? And blah, blah, blah. And he like asked his name, and then paramedics came and shit. But it was fucking
Jesus Christ.
It was frightening to see that.
I saw a crazy one once. This is insane. I was like walking just in New York City. I was in 6th grade, walking down the street to get on the bus, and an old lady jumps out of a building and lands probably 5 feet in front of me.
Holy
and
shit.
splat dead. And it was like, that made me think of it, because she just like, your mind plays tricks on you.
That's a way better story.
No, but just the idea that like they're just flat. She was flat down.
I saw a guy that needed 4 stitches. And then like had ice cream later that night.
Well, it's like you think you're in like on a movie set. Your brain's like protecting you from the trauma. Right. So I was just like, I'm in like Punk'd.
Yeah,
that was a popular show when I was in 6th grade.
Yeah. Still a popular show.
It's great.
So she just fucking, did she like explode? Or
no, that's what was so fucked up. It's just, she just like, it was like splat, and and you heard like and she was not instantly dead. I remember she was like, oh. And I was like, shit. So someone got her a blanket, and I was like, I don't think that's gonna do it. I don't think the blanket's gonna do it. Mm-hmm. But
and then what happens is a bunch of clowns came in one of those tiny ambulances, and they get the stretcher out, and they put the stretcher upside down. They get tied up in the stretcher.
Well, I remember being. This is the worst part of it. I remember being like, I was young. I was a little traumatized.
Yeah, of course.
And I remember calling a friend of mine, and his mom was kind of crazy, and I was like, I'll talk to him. It'll make me feel better. And I called him, and she picked up, and he wasn't home, and she just talked for like 20 minutes straight. She was like one of those self-involved, like awful people, where she was like, and then Martin did this, and then we did this, and then I was like, she's like, how was your day? It was like 20 minutes in the conversation. I was like, I just saw someone die, and she's like, all right, well, Elliot will be back shortly.
Oh my god, dude.
It was like no sympathy.
That's insane. I remember one time I used to hang out at my friend's house after school when I was in like junior high or whatever. And my mom worked at like a daycare center, so she'd be at work till like 7 p.m. I just wouldn't see her, wouldn't hear from her. And it was just like abnormal to hear from my mom like in the afternoon. And I was over at my friend's house one time, and my mom calls that, like, my friend's mom is like, yeah, your mom's on the phone. And I like pick up the phone. I'm like, hey, what's up? And she's like, I need you to meet me at home right now. And I'm like, why? What's up? I'm worried that I'm in trouble. Like, my first thought is like, she found the pornography on the computer. I'm going to jail. She found the pornography.
It's a good run.
Yeah, I got
like that scene in Blow.
She's like, I just need you to come home now. And I was like, why can't you tell me what it's about? She's like, just come home. And so I hang up the phone, and I'm like consulting with my friends. I'm like,
oh my god,
fuck, dude, there's got to be porn on there. Like, she found porn on my computer. I'm like, fuck, it's like she knows I'm masturbating, which is illegal. I'm never gonna be allowed to jack off again. I'm like so worried about it. I'm like sick with work, because like, why the fuck is my mom home from work? Like now I'm like, fuck. And then I get there, and she's in tears, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so bad. And she's like, Erica was driving home, and she was T-boned by a truck, and she's dead. And Erica was this like 19-year-old woman that like worked at the daycare center she worked at, who was always like super cool to me.
Shit.
And And like I was legitimately sad about it afterwards, but at the time I was like, "Thank God!" I was like so much relief. I was like, "Boys, guess who's still jacking off?"
By the way, Erica got teabagged by a car.
T-bone.
She's dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank God my mom didn't find those pictures of Sable topless from WWE.
She was great. WWE Divas.
Yeah.
I used to beat off to a Newgrounds game where you could like put clothes on Britney Spears. It was like this Britney Spears nude, and you could drag the underwear off, and then you could beat off to it.
The Britney Spears fakes were great. I loved where she's like smiling so big, and it's just like some guy with a 14-inch dick is fucking her. And she's just like her headshot, like her fucking promotional.
The fakest porn ever.
So good.
I love those, dude. Like the fake Sarah Michelle Gellar shit. She had like massive tits with her face on there. Like, all right, think this is fake.
It was
but I'm
so
playing
easy
along.
to beat off as a child, dude.
Oh, dude.
Especially the guys that make fakes, and then they make like the shitty fakes, and then they put their like watermark on the bottom.
Yes.
It's like Brian's Nudes. .geocities.com. Check me out, guys.
I had when I was in 6th grade. I had a porno magazine that I made and distributed to my high school, to my school. It's completely true. It was called Play Amigo magazine, and a friend and I is 100% true.
It's called Play Amigo.
It was a great run while it lasted. No, you know what happened? It was my friend.
That sounds like a Wii game. Where you like interact with some 5-year-old Hispanic boy. Let's play Amigo. We teach him how to read.
It was great.
It's like Dora for boys.
It'd be like 6 pages, and it would just be me finding websites of like that type of shit and just printing it on my dad's printer. Color pages. I was using his money.
That was so much ink.
So much ink. And I would sell it for like $6 an issue. And there was a couple kids that would buy every issue. And I got busted by like, I had a very gay teacher named Mr. Jones who passed away. He was a great guy.
Yeah.
And I remember he found the porn one day, and he was like, "I'll just say it was lingerie." he was such a good sport.
That's hilarious.
So we never got taken down. I just kind of I walked away from.
I remember
game.
someone's brother got caught like looking at porn because he was doing the same thing where he printed out the pictures and like the printer ran out of ink while he was printing out porn. So he just like forgot about it, and then his mom like replaced the ink in the printer, and the printer's like immediately, just like a woman's pussy getting fucked.
Just the bottom half.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, good lord. Yeah.
We got a virus, Mom.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny. You think like, oh well, adults know all what that is, but like people didn't really like suck dick or eat pussy until like the 80s or 90s. I'm serious. I'm not even
they
kidding.
Sucked and fucked, dude.
No, they didn't
that's
suck
not
dick.
true.
No, it is true.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, in like
They
the
sucked and
50s. I mean, if you go back to the 50s, that was like
No, they were sucking and fucking.
They were sucking dick,
no, they
dude.
weren't.
The whole Kinsey thing. Come on.
that was later. That was in the 60s. That was during like free love and stuff. Like 50, like older. Yeah. I guarantee you your
They were
grandparents.
like old Greek orgies and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
From like 300 BC.
300 years ago, but I'm talking about an American culture and like conservative America and like the first half of like your grandparents, your granddad probably never put his dick in your grandmother's mouth. Maybe when he was in the war.
I don't believe
No,
that.
maybe when he was in the war over, seas and he, got sucked off by somebody over there, but like,
So
you don't put your dick in your wife's mouth. That was like the
In Lover's
disagree.
Lane, when
I
they're
hope that's
fucking
not
necking,
true.
they get a malt and then they go fucking over an overpass and they're fucking
those people didn't
making out.
Yeah,
You don't think they're getting their dick sucked? That's you're definitely getting beaten off.
No.
What?
Yeah.
I think I'd have bored him back then. Yeah, you at least tried. I think
Dude,
there's gotta be.
they're getting beaten off, dude.
Nope.
Well,
I disagree.
we'll have to table this.
It was only
discussion.
P&V.
No, dude, they're in T-Birds. You don't think they're getting sucked off in a T-Bird?
No.
How are you gonna fuck in those little cars, dude?
They're not getting sucked off, I'm telling you. Conservative
I don't know,
50s America. Look, I've read every one of Bill O'Reilly's books. He talks about it. He said, I've never fucked. And it's because of the culture. It has nothing to do with me.
I wanted to fucking. I'm gonna do some historical research.
I
feel like I've seen porn from like black and white porn.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, people that produce porn were doing
Yeah,
that, but I
right,
mean,
right.
like contemporary
Yeah, okay,
American
was it
culture.
normal?
Yeah, norms.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that blowjobs didn't exist.
Right.
I'm saying like the average American.
It wasn't the norm.
Yeah, an average, like the same way that most people
possible.
don't fuck their wife in the ass these days.
What?
I mean, everybody fucks in the ass.
I'm
but
not a big anal sex guy.
No,
Yeah.
I'll
That's
throw
not
it
my
in. I'll
thing.
I'll
It's
get
just
in
one of
mix.
the, like, I bet it's like pissing on your girlfriend's face.
Ah, okay.
That I like. But, yeah, I mean when she's running her mouth.
Sure, I've done it. I've done it, you know. But I mean, is
Sure.
it a thing that happens all the time? No.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Well, the one thing I want to talk about more about getting caught beating off. Because I had a fucking, because my mom, I grew up in this utopia where my fucking immigrant parents didn't use computers, so I was going fucking crazy, dude. I was like beating off to the strangest shit, and the first thing my mom found was the first time she learned fucking computers, I was on some vile shit. I just got a call from my mom, and she was like, someone was on crackhoreconfessions.com. I was like, what are these crack whores? I was like, oh, I don't know, mom. Probably Nick and George. Just throw my little brothers under the bus.
Yeah.
It was just like,
that happened to me. I was like, me and my friends are going to the pool, and my friend Zach's stepdad is like, so, Nick, what's up with these Playboy magazines?
Yeah.
I was like, excuse me? And he was like, all these Playboy, and then Zach's like, oh, yeah, those are mine. And I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, oh, Zach, you piece of shit. He blamed me.
Yeah,
He said it was my
yeah.
fault. Luckily, he copped to it at the last minute, but...
yeah, that's, I was beating off to some vile shit. Dude, LimeWire, did you ever beat off to
LimeWire,
Yeah,
it was a fucking risk. 'Cause you at least now you have the thumbnail and you know what you're going into. Those you spend like 30 minutes downloading,
And it's gay
God knows
porn.
what it's going to be. Yeah.
I used to download a still from the movie Swordfish, Halle Berry, when she was like
classic.
tanning and
Oh, yes.
drops. I used to download that.
It was shocking that she
repeatedly.
did that.
I would download it, beat off to it, delete it, and then an hour later, like, download it again.
Yeah. I feel like a real hacker when you were doing that. You're just like,
Yeah.
It was like the movie Swordfish.
Yeah, that's what that movie's about. It's about hacking while you get your dick sucked.
that's literally.
Yeah. I like that he
Damn.
has trouble hacking while the blowjob is going on.
Yeah.
That's the only scene I remember.
And the
in
whole
that
time you're
movie.
jacking off, you're like, David Justice didn't know what he had. You know? Didn't know how lucky he was. Yeah, I liked, she was in the rotation for sure. I'm trying to think who else made.
There was a
like, who
specific
the classic-
picture of Salma Hayek with only one tit out.
Wow.
You guys ever see that one?
No, but
Might have been a fake, but it was a very good fake. Salma Hayek was a big.
she was big.
Huge.
From Dusk Till Dawn was huge.
I used to
Oh,
beat off a
boy.
lot to Miss September 1980.
Really?
Yeah.
I did like the old, like you would come across like a 1960s, and they just had the cone titties with like giant nipples. Something about that. You don't see that anymore. Maybe the bras were
Not a fan.
forming them that way.
Not a fan.
It was like a fun, and you also had some very, very.
There's this shitty old
big
comic
titty
in
women.
Austin one time I go into the Velveeta room and he's just drunk. And he's like an Austin staple, this guy like Carry On. Everyone loves him. I don't know why I'm shitting on him. But it was very much a thing where like for 45 years he was the only comedian in Austin.
Right.
So it's like, how funny is this guy? You know, he's not really. You know?
Right.
And he's just drunk and he's in the Velveeta room. And he's like, you know, back then the girls, they just had these big old pair of just like torpedo-shaped tits. These big old titties that torpedo-shaped like the fins on a big old Cadillac. These big old tits, and you could see them, and then the bra be swinging in the wind, these big old tits. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You fucking retarded old man. This is the shit you beat off to 400 years ago. There's no punchline coming. You're just drunk.
Oh, that was him on stage?
Yeah, this is him on stage.
No.
I thought he was making conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Austin. He just has a stroke up there.
Oh, yeah. No, there was this other guy, Art. There was all these guys from the 80s, back again when nobody was
Right.
doing comedy.
Yeah.
And so,
And
you
you
know.
watch it and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
God.
and all these guys were friends with Bill Hicks because, you know, he was around back then.
Right.
But,
sound like him.
Yeah, there was
And
this guy.
Kinnison, they're like, that devil.
Kinnison's great. Kinnison's
Kinnison,
great.
Louder Than Hell is one of the best albums
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
ever.
yeah.
I love Kinnison.
I'm not
What
even-
I don't
so
love
many
are the
people
Kinnison
stole.
clones.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about the lower level guys. I'm talking about the people that were legitimate like open micers that wouldn't last at 6 months if they started now.
Right.
Who populated the scene. There was this guy Art Mack that I guess had been around forever, and Bryson was just waiting in the foyer of the Velveeta room one time, and Art like stands there next to him, and you know they're just standing there next to each other awkwardly, and Bryson's not going to start conversation with him because he's they really know the guy, and like Art's like waiting for something to say, and they stand there for like 20 seconds, and then Art looks around and he goes, used to be girls who came here to fuck the comics. And then he gets nothing on that and just leaves.
He thought he was really going to bro down with
Yeah,
him, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Bummer.
Fuck, it would be nice if more women just explicitly came to fuck comics.
You fucking got laid last night.
Yeah, that's true. That literally did happen to
She
me.
literally walked up to you and said, "Do you want to come home with me?"
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, that's true, but maybe more of that. Yeah, if it could happen literally every time.
It's a good time. It's a good time to be a comedian.
We're going to take Cum Town on the road, and if you want to fuck Stavros, you can pay me, you give him the money, but he has to give it to me.
You're fucking
$100.
turning me out, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't wait to fuck this girl. I just go in, it's like 4 dudes. Yeah, time to fuck Stav.
I'm just getting a manicure with the money.
In the same room, though.
What I tell you,
with an apple in your mouth. It's like, I wonder if he's hanging in there.
Yeah, he's my little piggy pie. Don't fuck him up now. I gotta sell that ass all week, baby. Daddy need his toenails back.
Oh, it's like the scene in Deliverance. You just come in and save him with an arrow. How fucked up is that scene?
Oh, the worst. Fuck. We could probably pimp out Adam for real, though. He's a cute little twink.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
He's your Phil Hanley?
Yeah, he is our Phil Hanley.
Nice little twink.
Yeah, we're in D.C. This is a road episode.
That's why Adam's not here. We didn't really kick him off the podcast.
No, we haven't made fun of
He's back
G's
home,
yet.
Just experiencing, dating life in New York. Wow, that's crazy.
It's so hard.
Wow, these girls you have to interact with.
Yeah, some beautiful woman with a septum piercing and double T titties is asking Adam to hog tie her right now, and he's going to find a way to complain about it when we get home.
I don't know how to do this. Shut up.
You fucking asshole.
Shut the fuck up, Adam.
You guys got the good recipe for a hit podcast. You guys got the good dynamic, and then you got the guy you hate. That's all you need.
Yeah, we did. I was explaining to someone, we did kind of the reverse Carl Pilkington thing. What you do is normally a good podcast is you get 2 guys that are smart and then a dumb guy to beat up on. But we did the reverse. We got 2 dumb guys and we make fun of him for being some kind of book reading faggot or whatever.
Whenever he starts saying facts, we call him gay. Yeah. That's what we do. That's how this podcast
just
works.
Throw Tabasco on him. Shut up.
And that's what people really want, dude. That's what got Trump in office, which I cannot be more happy about.
Yeah, you totally flipped.
For pussies.
I didn't vote for him, but I am happy he won.
Yeah.
Which is the best,
Yeah.
When something good happens and you didn't have to do any work for it.
I was furious for Tuesday, and then I woke up and I'm like, yeah, it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I was blackout drunk also, and that is not a good thing for when something unexpected happens.
Well, my girlfriend the last week has been like, oh, well, what if I have to get an abortion? It's like, you'll be fine. We live in New York City.
We have a staircase. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I've been working on my stomach punches recently.
Yeah. I know karate. Karate, it's illegal actually for me to not know karate now.
Now that Steven Seagal is Secretary of Defense,
in Russia.
Yeah.
He has Serbian citizenship too.
Does he?
Yeah.
Really? How many citizenships does that guy have?
Everywhere but the United States. Japan, Serbia.
Serbia seems like a rough place to live.
I know.
Weave lives there. That's another guy that is going to be on the podcast who is a literal Nazi. There's a gigantic swastika tattoo on his chest.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm glad that we were on together.
Yeah. Well, I want to have him on with Adam. I think it would be a funny bit to just constantly apologize for Adam speaking. Insist that he be nicer to our guests.
We invited this Nazi.
Yeah. Weave's a guy that was he's been a troll on the internet for a decade or longer than that, 15 years. But back when the internet was kind of new, he was a guy that was actually getting some notoriety for being a troll. And he would fucking lie to the New York Times and shit, and they would print this kind of stuff and things that he said that were just lies. And he was a guy that had no problem calling in bomb threats to the FBI or whatever. And when they show up at his house, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then gives him a fake name, and then they just arrest him for that. He just didn't care. He's never cared. So he is legitimately a Nazi now, but it's also if you've been aware of him long enough, it's I don't think he's legitimately anything, because he's constantly 2 years ago he was a Mormon. He was 100% I'm a Mormon. I don't think
that's a big right turn.
Yeah, well, he's I don't see how you can read the Bible and not think that Jesus and Socrates were the ultimate trolls and they invented troll. He has all these bizarre,
Right.
I mean, there's no line between.
So
you can't tell when the irony starts with him. So
right.
Even for him to go to the extent of having a swastika tattoo on his chest, I think a part of him is yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, it's
know?
the biggest troll.
Yeah, he just doesn't. But he was in 2007 or 2008 when the iPad came out. Whenever the iPad came out, AT&T launched the iPad. And the way it worked is you buy it at like the AT&T store, and then you would go home, turn on the iPad. When you turned it on, it would go to AT&T's website, and the serial number of the iPad that you bought was sent to AT&T's website through a hidden form on the website, and then that's how it downloaded all your contact information.
Right.
Now, the form's hidden, but it still exists in like, the post data sent to the server. So some guy like saw that and like just wrote a quick script that runs, because all the serial numbers for iPads were sequential.
So this is the guy?
No, this is a different guy.
All right.
This guy wrote a script that just runs every sequential serial number for the iPads and pulled the entire AT&T customer database off the website.
God.
That
and
is
they
bad.
notified. It's not bad. It's just it's a flaw that AT&T left open on
But
the website.
he's a hacker, though, right?
Yeah, debatable. And this isn't Weave. This is the other guy that found it.
Right.
So they
How is it debatable that he's a hacker, though?
because he's a hacker, but is that illegal? That's the question.
It stole their information?
It would be like if you walk past a house and somebody had their social security number in the window of the house, and you said, "Hey, your social security number is just displayed in that window."
But he created a script to hack it, though. It's not like
it's not hacking it because he's not
though.
breaking the system. The system was already fucked up. If you could put anything in,
but
there.
no, it's not like just say. Anyway, what's the story?
Well, it doesn't matter because
Yeah.
the U.S. Court of Appeals overturned the decision that it was hacking.
It is hacking.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
What's the
they vacated the judgment.
Okay.
Or so whatever. So the story is the guy that found it, he tried to notify AT&T. AT&T blew him off, and then he went to Weave to publicize it. We've publicized it. We've got arrested, and we spent 2 years in prison.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. Well, the federal government already hated him.
Right.
But
So they just got an excuse to put him away.
so he was waiting for trial.
Al Capone on taxes.
He was waiting for trial.
You don't have a lot of options in prison. You kind of got to join that Aryan Brotherhood.
Yeah. So he was waiting trial, and he became this like Occupy, poster boy, because the Electronic Frontier Foundation was like, in his corner, and all these Occupy people were in his corner, and it was so funny to me, having like known all the fucked up shit We've had done in the prior, to see like Occupy people being like, yeah, this guy's like, he's like a good guy, this is like a hacker or whatever. It's like, yeah, no, that's not the guy. Whose corner you want to be in. And yeah, I don't know. So how much of an actual Nazi he is? I mean, he is. If you're saying that shit and people are believing it, then I guess it doesn't matter whether you're
just
a Nazi
funny
or not.
sentence. How much of an actual Nazi?
Yeah.
Are you a cash Nazi? Or
Yeah, it's like.
Are you like a Monday through Thursday Nazi?
Yeah. Weekend Nazi warrior.
Yeah. So I don't know. The debate right before he got the swastika tattoo. The debate was like, is he really a Nazi or is he just trolling?
That's a big commitment.
That is the ultimate troll.
No, but I still.
You got to go to a special place to get that tattoo.
Yeah, who's
I just
giving
can't
out
just go to
swastika
McDougal.
tattoos?
I still think he's so fucking funny though. Like I clicked on his website, his like a live journal, which I haven't read in a while, and the first it's all these articles he's written about white supremacy, and then the first article I see is like, it just starts and it's like, it was 2011 was the first year I became a believer. Justin Bieber has to be one of the greatest recording artists of our generation. It's like written this thing about why he legitimately loves Justin Bieber, and he lays out explains why he's great, and it's like. That's fun. It's funny.
It's so funny.
It's so funny because it's juxtaposed with all this Nazi hate speech.
That is legitimately hilarious.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's also Weave is 5'2". He's harmless, as a physical thing. So you take it all.
He probably has guns.
He is a literal troll.
Yeah, he is. He's quite literally a fucking troll. Yeah, Sam Hyde, same thing. Sam Hyde's an alt-right guy now or whatever.
Yeah.
He's gotten he's that's been pretty solidified throughout Trump's campaign.
For sure.
But I also think Sam Hyde is one of the funniest people.
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, it's hard when you know that's I don't know what his intentions are. Like those shit when he's mocking women in this shit, and it's like, oh well, he's just a fucking absurd, crazy dude. It's like, all right, whatever. But then when you know, he probably hates women. there's like a different. It adds a little bite when you know what his fucking. Like specifically, there was $1 Million Extreme sketch where it's like, he's just mocking some woman for wanting to like date a successful man because she hasn't worked on herself or something. He's just making they're just bullying these women who have no idea, and they're real women. It's not like a sketch.
What do that the wall sketch?
Yeah, where it's like a fake dating show, and he's just like bullying a woman.
The $1 Million Extreme show, World Peace on Adult Swim.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like these guys, $1 Million Extreme. So they're from they were always like these weird, funny.
They're like a
internet
4chan
dudes.
sketch group. And like that informed their sense of humor, and then their output is also like, in line with that kind of stuff. But like Sam got popular, like at least what you could call mainstream popularity with regards to the other stuff that he does. And when a couple of years ago he like lied his way into like a TEDx talk, and he like drove to Drexel University and had this like bizarre speech he did wearing like children's like Halloween costume armor.
Yeah, it was really funny.
It's really fucking funny.
He just faked a whole, and these people were asking him questions. He said nothing.
Yeah.
Like everything was just like double speak and like.
Yeah, it was all like, we got to get to Africa to teach these kids JavaScript.
We were like, what are you talking?
Yeah,
the questions were literally like, what was the point of this?
Yeah.
It was great.
He starts like making himself laugh while he's doing it, and he just sort of turns away and like just starts slapping his own face. It's really funny. But he's also like an alt-right guy, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are in DC, and
Home of the alt-right.
home of the alt-right now. Does anybody, I feel like, do we have any funny DC fuck stories? Nick, you had a pretty good one. The last time you were here, we were talking about it in the car.
Oh, I guess, yeah. I was here a couple years ago, and I was just trying to find a place to stay using Tinder. And
Literally
then,
trying to fuck for shelter.
Yeah, no, I mean, I changed my Tinder bio to say that, and then some girl was like, oh, yeah, I'm fine with that, or whatever. And then we met up in the middle of the day, and she's like, well, we can't really go to my apartment. And I'm like, I don't have a place to go. I made that clear. And then, we ended
she
up...
barely spoke English, right?
No, she spoke English.
Oh, okay.
Come on. She was Chinese, but she spoke English. Yeah.
Was she cute?
She was all right, and we ended up fucking in the woods next to Rock Creek
In the
Parkway.
woods?
Not even,
That didn't even solve your problem.
Yeah, no, it didn't. Yeah. It's like on the side of the road, like 2:00 in the afternoon. Like showed up to the Improv, and like blood all over my hands.
She's on her period.
Oh my god.
On his hand and his jeans. He had to borrow jeans.
Yeah, well, I had to borrow jeans for the next show, the next night, because I got to the club and I forgot I was wearing basketball shorts. I'm like, oh fuck. And I had to borrow Tito Garza's pants.
Tito was just coming to watch the show.
Yeah. And so he had to sit there without pants on.
What? In the crowd?
Yeah, because I had to borrow his pants to wear on stage.
Oh man. Well, that's a good friend.
Yeah.
He's a good
Tito
dude.
came through.
Tito's a good dude. Have you ever had any funny fuck stories here, Sam? Have you come to DC?
I've been here a few times. I'm trying to think.
And open it up geographically if you have any good ones.
A good fuck story. Well, this one's bad. I probably shouldn't say it. But I will. Good fuck story. Recent.
No, it doesn't have to be recent. It could be a classic. It could be a
classic.
classic Sam Morrill fuck story.
Well, the worst one. I've actually talked. You've heard this one before, but it's a fun one for your Cum Town.
For the Cum Boys.
For the Cum Boys.
Yeah.
One of the worst ones is I met this really cute girl online, and
Oh yeah, this is a great
you know
story.
this one. Yeah, it's terrible. And we had a good date, and then I made out with her, and that was kind of it. And I never heard from her again. I thought nothing of it. And then one day she just texted me, where are you? And I was like, I'm in Union Square with my parents.
Yeah.
What are you up to? And she's like, I want to see you and I want to get freaky with you. And I was like, all right.
So you hadn't heard from her for like
I haven't heard
month.
from her a couple months. It was a Friday afternoon, and everything about it was a little shady. Like
Yeah.
I felt like it didn't seem right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I called her to make sure it was her, because there's that part of your brain where like it's someone's trying to rob me. This is too good to be true. And I called, and she's like, it's me. I'm drunk. I've had a bad week at work. I want to fuck. And I was like, okay, sold. That's all I need. And I lied to my mom about an audition to get out of there, which really hurt a little bit to see her face. Like,
So you're just
go get him, Sam. I was like, all right.
Which an audition is still a kind of a shitty reason to like abandon your family. I'm really hoping I get this Reebok commercial.
It's more important than my love for you guys. So I leave, and I remember like everything about it was a little fishy. I remember I text Rachel Feinstein, like, here's the address in case anything happens to me. This is how you know you're walking into something bad. Because I was with Rachel early that day, and I was just like, and she's like, why do you have to do this? And I was like, well, you know why. I mean, but a woman doesn't understand that type of urge.
There's a lot of things women don't understand. Fucking the presidency, you know,
math. So
everything except the space program, which apparently they invented. I mean, do you know that was WOCs?
It was all.
So I go over there, I get off the train, and it's a different apartment than when I dropped her off, but I don't think much of it because, you know, it's like, it's New York, people sublet, but it's like a luxury apartment in Williamsburg. I walk in, I'm like, let's have a drink downstairs, and she's like, no, let's just go upstairs. I have scotch. And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So we go up. Not like there's just a couch and a bottle of scotch. That's all there is in the apartment. I was like, this feels very pornographic. So we start kind of making out a little bit. She starts sucking my dick, and I down a couple scotches, and then she's like, we should go to my bedroom so my roommate doesn't catch us. And I was like, all right. And then she's like, no, I want him to catch us. And I was like, what? That sounds like the opposite of what you just said. But she's like, and then we're like, fine, we go to a bedroom.
I don't want to room.
It's a guy, it's a guy, roommate.
Yeah.
I don't even know what, basically he's been there the whole time. I find out a second later. Cause
Jesus Christ.
we're in her bedroom. Thanks for pretending to be surprised by this. Stav knows this story, because I've told it on stage before. So the door just swings open. She's going down on me, and it's like a scary looking guy. He's jacked. He's tatted up. He's staring, and I'm kind of like, "Can I help you?" I don't know. What do you say? Right? I'm still in her mouth.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was like, well, he's like, we gonna do this? And I was like, what? He's like, are we gonna fuck her? And I was like, I'm not. That's not my thing.
He just wanted to fuck her with you.
Yeah, that was their thing. That was their thing apparently, and I'm like terrified. I'm kind of like, being confused hard is a fucking bad. To be scared while you're hard is a bad feeling.
I feel like that's kind of what it feels like to be mentally disabled.
They are always hard. I've noticed.
Is to be coming and scared at the same time.
They're like, help!
Where am I?
And so I basically just, I pulled my pants up, and I was like, all right, well, this has been real. I was scared. I grabbed my backpack and I ran out, and I remember walking through McCarran Park, and my mom called to see how the audition went. And I was like, it was not good. But and then I called Rachel, and she was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why would you do that? And I was like, but you know why? Obvious.
Just
but
a dude.
I regret it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you should have done it. I mean, it's not like you were going to touch balls or whatever.
You might have.
No, you just fucking spit roaster.
It felt so creepy. Like, that's one of the things I did with like a guy from when I was like in like high school. But it's not something you do when you're an adult. With a stranger, it's scary. You're scared for your safety. And the fact they already lied to me. And then also, I don't know. Everything about it was fucking terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I would. I don't know. I've never fucked a girl with another dude. It seems. I feel like any audience is too much. I just can't have anybody watching me fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever double teamed anyone?
No, never.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like when you're fucking alcoholic days, you might have just accidentally.
No.
No?
I mean, if I did, I don't remember.
I have a friend who I did it with in like 7th grade.
People,
7th grade.
People don't. They confuse alcoholism and like partying. And
Right,
it's not
right.
the same thing.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
true. I don't have any like cool stories from when I was a fucking awful drunk.
Right, you just blacked out and would.
Drove my car.
Occasionally
around.
you do something cool, but it would be like by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like with even with this girl, that's the power of being a beautiful woman. Is I remember I texted her afterwards, and I was like, "If you want to do that again, but just us, let me know." And she's like, "Nah, not really. Just just with the guy." And I was like, "All right, well, I don't know why you thought I would be into that.
Yeah,
like,
what
that's not
about
something
you?
just like. Can you imagine if I fucking did that to her?
Oh my god!
If I just,
that's
you
rape.
know, if I just had a dude come in,
she would have a $1 million blogging career. What if that was Sadie Doyle? Have you ever seen Sadie Doyle?
Dude, I'm like the guy that brought her to popularity. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you know what she looks like?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that was
Maybe
Sadie.
it was her.
We went to Sadie's apartment, dude.
Sadie, man.
That's what happened.
Sadie's
that was
a hot Asian.
That was the Tiger beatdown.
She,
Sadie's having a meltdown.
Oh yeah,
is she?
about what?
That's the one benefit of Trump winning is that you get to just go read Sadie's feed and
Oh yeah. What she got going now these days?
the same shit. you
Yeah.
know. I mean you can.
That's the
everyone's
problem is
gonna
that
know.
people like that focus their energy on me.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's bigger problems out there than
Yeah.
Well,
jokes.
she had a 24-hour meltdown because I've never interacted with her once ever.
Yeah.
And then one time she made some dumb statement about, I think it was like Bernie Bros or something or whatever, and I just responded with a picture of Dr. Evil, and then it just said, right. I was having like an Austin Powers renaissance that week. Where
That was so funny.
You got every few years you have to.
Well, it became very funny to me again to make Austin Powers references.
Sure.
You know, in the same way that like Borat references were ironically funny.
yes.
like-
But Austin Powers even funnier than
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah, baby. To like say that, especially if you can do it like at work. If you're at work and you can just annoy someone all day with Austin Powers references, and then they'll go, "Yeah, man." Then they go home and he's like, "You won't fucking shut up about Austin Powers." And this guy beating his wife because they kept saying Mojo.
Have you heard?
That's
have
the
you
funniest
heard,
shit in the world
Have you
to me.
heard Colin Quinn's story about how he turned down Austin Powers?
No.
Here's his whole story.
Was he
about-
supposed to be
He was
Austin
supposed
Powers?
to be Scott. He was supposed to be.
Really?
He was supposed to
What
be
the
Seth
fuck?
Green.
What?
Dude, it sounds crazy, but there's here's why he would have been amazing at it. There's an episode of Larry Sanders where he plays Rip Torn's spoiled son named Cully. And it's every line is like he's like an intern for the Larry Sanders show.
Right,
He's just
right.
fucking everybody on set.
Oh, that's
hilarious.
And Gary Shandling will be like, "Hey, can I get a mango sorbet?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, one homo surprise coming right up." Like he's like a dick. And like, you see like, oh shit, he would. That's why Mike Myers was probably like, "You have to do this." And I guess
Right.
Colin just tells him, "I got my own shit I'm working on." So
Right.
you know,
Was
So he turned it down.
Wasn't he too old to play his?
but that's
son?
part of the humor
Oh,
of
right,
it is
right,
that he's
part of
like
the joke.
kind of
That makes sense.
he's almost too old to be the
That
son, but
makes
he is the
sense.
son.
Yeah. I get that. Fuck, that's so funny.
So you were saying the Sadie Doyle story.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. So I tweeted that right thing at her that one time. I've told this story already. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
fans
that's
of the
true.
show are familiar with it. I guess. So yeah, she spent the next like 24 hours like tweeting at me like, "I know you're fucking friends with Kurt Metzger," you know. And then it was
Right.
about Kurt, and then about how like Kurt's a rapist and he's literally murdered. I don't know if you know this, but Kurt murdered 37 women.
Right. Yeah, I've heard. I can't believe he still gets work.
Yeah. So she's going off about Kurt, and then she's like tweeting at Amy Schumer because of me. Tweeting that one picture. It's like
I'm pretty sure Amy does not check her Twitter anymore.
Amy doesn't know who the
She's
fuck
got some
I
shit.
am.
Amy's got some shit going on. I don't know if
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
heard
yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But
I've never even met Amy. Amy doesn't know who I am. So, and then, everyone's like making fun of Sadie for having a problem with me because like I've never interacted with her beyond that like right thing. And I just keep posting that picture of Dr. Evil over and over again. And she just went for 48 hours. Just went nuts.
The thing is, like, yeah, she did a thing. There's like a type of blogger that is just fueled by anger rather like that's their form of being entertained, and it's not fact. Like she just wanted to bait me. I remember she emailed me originally. I was like, "Hey, I saw you at the Comedy Cellar and your act really stood out. I'd love to interview you sometime." And I just wrote, I was like on the road. I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, why not?" And she wrote back a couple days later, like pages of rape statistics because I told a rape joke.
Oh my god.
And I was like, "Oh, this doesn't sound like an interview. It sounds like something else." And then I just sent it to my manager, and she was like, "Oh, you got to send all interviews through me." I was like, "Well, I don't think this is what most interviewers are like."
Do you like talk to your manager with that kind of stuff?
Well, I had a different manager at the time, and I was kind of this was a few years ago, and I was kind of like, yeah, I don't
I talk to my
know what to
manager
do.
like once every 6 months, and they're like, "What are you working on?" I'm like, "Nothing." They're like, "All right."
Well, you should. They work for you. You got to hit them up.
Yeah.
I talk to my guy.
They're
a
good.
lot.
They've done stuff for me, but I guess I don't really know what market there is for a cum podcast outside of the one we've already
I
created.
think you guys are onto something, man.
We're doing
you
all
guys
right.
got a good dynamic.
Everybody listening to this is a premium subscriber, so you have free admittance to Sam's show tonight. If you want.
Come down to the big.
I wasn't serious about that.
About what?
But they get in the show for free.
Oh.
You
Yeah,
look
come to the
nervous
big
for
hunt.
a second.
Oh no,
At 7:30
I could care
and
less.
10,
Come
10
free.
p.m.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But what?
the joke is this won't go up until tomorrow, so there's no way they can get it.
It's gonna go
They
tomorrow
miss
or
me.
today.
I don't know. I gotta fuck. Where am I gonna edit it and upload it?
Oh, you're right.
Dude,
you're right.
You know, the Sadie Doyle thing was hilarious though, because she really I remember when she posted that article about me, I just woke up to like angry tweets like, "I hope you die," and I was like, well, this is a different Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And then I saw, I was like, oh, she took my joke not only out of context, but she omitted the punchline.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, ooh, that's kind of a problem. You're just writing a fucked up setup.
Right.
And I remember I sent it. I was like, well, I got to respond to this, and that's when it got I probably could have just let it die and nothing would have happened.
Right.
But like, it got traction when I responded, and it's funny because you see who your friends are in those moments. Because I remember a couple comics kind of were like writing like passive aggressive shit about me.
Really?
Yeah, and I was shocked. I was like, oh, I thought I was friends with that guy. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I remember I sent my response to Colin Quinn, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And he was like, "How dare she like omit your punchline? This is like because he's like the most angered by this, of course. You know, he's like he's." And he said something like, this is a great response. Take out this one line. It's pretty gay.
Yeah. You should have had like an addendum at the end that was like, I was also going to say this, but Colin Quinn said it was gay.
I should have. Well, I remember...
and that's really the real, like, treat to the Trump thing. As bad as it's going to be to see people like that, just a little bit more upset than they already were. Makes it worth it. Is that spiteful? Absolutely. Is it wrong for me to do that? Probably.
Yeah.
Will I do it? Yes.
Just enjoy it, you mean?
Yeah.
Despite all the other damage?
Yeah.
Well, what are you going to do?
That, I'm doing it.
Yeah, you're
I'm
doing
enjoying
it. You're always going to do it.
Yeah. I'm going to send Sadie Dr. Evil memes now.
Those were great.
Dr. Evil saying, huge. Huge. It's going to be great, Sadie. It's going to be really good, okay?
It is funny. It seems like Trump's already fucking like what he already said, he might keep some parts of Obamacare.
Oh yeah, he's not going to repeal Obamacare. I'm going to amend Obamacare. There's a lot of great stuff in there that I really like.
It's awesome that he's just already flip-flopping.
Pre-existing conditions are staying in there.
I think part of me is like he's a liberal guy at heart, but the other part of me is like he's just wants to do whatever's going to be good for him. He's a narcissist,
Yeah, who knows what the fuck's from? He's got to be mad that Trump TV's not happening, right?
Yeah, well, he had a falling out with Roger Ailes right before.
Right.
I mean, that was going to be the brains behind it.
Right.
It was going to have, which is, by the way, when you have some heat on you for sexual harassment, maybe don't employ the other guy that's got heat on him for sexual harassment.
They're the Barnum and Baileys of rape.
Roger Ailes, clearly a fucking terrible person.
Oh my god, for sure.
A very smart man at making an empire.
The mental image of those aspirational Fox ladies having to
it's awful.
blow him as if he were the bad guy from the new Mad Max movie. Like they're those sex slaves being milked in the back room, and he's like, "I need a blowjob," like that. It pleases me.
They lived in fear. Everyone lived in fear of him. I remember I was on it was the last time I did Red Eye, and I was kind of like, all right, I'm done with the show for a while because they wouldn't let me make a Roger Ailes joke.
They wouldn't let me make a John McCain joke, and it was pro John McCain. It was just about how he can't raise his arms up because he's a fucking POW.
I mean, and that is a fun premise to joke on. I mean, but look, John, and also, that's the thing about it. It's like, we're here, you're not paying us when we do that show, Red Eye. Yeah. I get to say whatever the fuck I want. That's my rule.
Yeah.
And so once they start doing that, I'm like, all right, I'm going to take a break for a while.
Yeah. please don't let the fans know that I'm not paid to do Red Eye. They think I make $1 million an episode. We can't ruin this illusion that I live on the top of the Empire
Tom
State
Shalhoub makes more than Fallon right now.
Yeah.
Well,
How funny would it be if they didn't pay Tom Shalhoub? He just does a show for free
Every day.
We'll send you a car. We'll send you a car and you get some stale cookies in the green room.
I fucking went there one time, and you come out and you don't see Tom in the green room, or sometimes you do, and I go out there and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he had like not shaved for like a week, and they just painted concealer over his beard.
Really?
So he just had this like thick makeup all over his like shit, like as much growth as I have right now. They just painted over it.
Why would he just shave? What the fuck?
I don't know.
That's
it was so funny.
stupid.
Yeah.
That is so weird. Just clown makeup.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Fucking Red Eye.
I want to go on Red Eye.
I asked Christine if I could do. I was like, hey, do you think I could do like Kennedy or the Gutfield show? You know, because like fuck it, why not? You know, get as much exposure as I can.
Sure.
You know, if
Yeah,
they're willing to
Gutfeld's
put me on.
fun. It's got a live crowd, which is fun.
Yeah, and she was like, she's like, hey, just about to go on vacation. She was like, in the interim, I'd suggest like actually watching those shows. You know, like, assumed I haven't seen them or whatever. And I was like, well, you're right. I haven't.
Gutfeld is cool because
I had to actually Google the Greg Gutfield show because I didn't know if that was the name of it.
Yeah, Kennedy's cool too. Kennedy is like a stand-up fan.
Yeah.
She's cool.
She was like a VJ, right? Isn't that?
Yeah.
Wasn't she like on MTV?
I just don't.
way
I mean,
back
I'm
in
not
the
a
day?
libertarian, so I don't know if I could go on those shows.
I've been on it a million times, and it's the same shit. I just say horrible shit.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
They
yeah.
go with it, and they either edit it. It's a real bummer though when you're like, all right, well, I'm not getting paid, so I better get some good jokes.
Oh, they
in
don't
there.
pay you for those ones either.
No.
Yeah.
And then you go out there, and the jokes. The joke is too offensive. They're like, we have to cut that. And then there's just like a long segment of everyone talking. You're just sitting there because they cut the one thing you said.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so I came for free, and now I just look like an asshole.
Yeah.
You just look like a dickhead with nothing to say.
It would be great if you could bring like a big lollipop and the lollipop just changes size all of a sudden. And, you know, sit there and you say nothing and you're like, and then the lollipop's half the size. Everyone looks tired. Yeah.
Every once in a while you're on too. It's like someone who just like I'll like come in with some jokes that are like pre-written.
Yeah.
Like obviously you're gonna have some jokes, and I'll like say the setup, and someone will be like, "Well, that's not true," and I'm like,
Yeah,
"That was
yeah.
a setup to a joke."
Yeah.
Some of us aren't
Especially
here
when
for our, you know.
They put you on with
I know.
fucking nerds. I was on Red Eye with Rich Lowry and whoever the editor-in-chief of Reason is, and it's like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Especially with that girl, the fucking Nosachinsky.
Oh, right.
Ugh.
I was on
I
with
don't
a
know
guy who was just like some elitist British guy who just did not like what I was doing at all. And every time he's like, well, that is very ignorant and not true at
Shut
all.
up, bitch. Just slap him.
Oh, I was on with Father Jonathan the priest once, and he immediately went at me, and I was like, "Are you a pedophile?" And he immediately backed off. I immediately like went to there, and he was like, "Oh, fuck." It's like great because like, oh, you need your people, and you don't want them to see this. I don't need my people.
Right. That's so funny.
That's crazy that no one gets paid.
It is evil. That's kind of like, look at how successful these networks are, because they don't pay people. It's fucking evil.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, other networks pay you to do shit, though.
I don't know if MSNBC does. I don't think any of them pay.
Oh,
They
really?
all bill it as an interview.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah, so it's like,
that's such horseshit.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're so clearly doing work.
So that's why I plug everything when I'm on there. I'm like, plug this, plug that. I'm like, I'm
well,
getting
they
mine.
asked me, they were like, what do you want to plug? And I was like, my podcast, Cum Town. They were like, we can't say that. And I was like, all right, well. But I never prepare. I stopped dressing nice for those, too. Last time I went, I had like a big hole in the crotch of my pants. I wear like a shitty hoodie with a cum on it.
You're going to promote the podcast one way or another.
Yeah. Just shine a black light on your hoodie. You've written "Come Down" in jizz. Can we hit the lights, please, Greg?
Yeah.
They're, you know, that's the thing is like, I usually have fun when I go in there, but it's like, I usually spend the day writing jokes for a free show
Right.
that airs at 3 a.m.
Right.
Although you know what's weird is like I've done a bunch of them, so occasionally I'd be in like Arizona and someone would be like, "Oh, I love Red Eye," because it airs at
'cause it's
midnight.
midnight.
There. So
Yeah.
they actually like watch.
Yeah, I got
Midnight
that.
on
I
a
got that
popular
in Texas
cable
when I was in Texas. Yeah, people coming up and saying that they were fans of Red Eye. But even if it comes on at midnight, why would you watch that show?
Yeah, there's
the only people I know that watch that show are the
shows,
comics that were on it, and only the times they were on it.
and bartenders.
I have no idea. Like Scott Chaplin will share his clips from Red Eye, and it's like, Scott, no one's going to watch them.
I watch him. I get a kick out of it.
Dude, I mean,
He's
Scott's
pretty funny on it.
Yeah.
Scott's funny. That one he posted where he was on with that fucking fat egghead, where Scott's like, yeah, no, but Hillary's people were saying that the whole time. He's like, no, that's absolutely incorrect. It's just Scott sitting there like,
just completely
upset.
proven wrong. Just wrong. Just should not have spoken. Yeah, that's fucking. I haven't done any of those because it's like I don't want to fucking learn anything. I don't want to.
You don't have to learn anything. If the Fox women don't have to learn anything.
They want to, they just look beautiful.
Joanne doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. And they make me sit next to her. And one time she's sitting there and she's like, I feel like CPAC is like a wolf pack, and a wolf pack needs its leader.
Oh, God.
And she says that, and I'm like,
just lift up your leg and fart.
Boo.
That kind of next time if I go on with her, I want to do that. Just bully her. Just make like air horn sound effects.
Obviously, like I've been on enough where I've done that to her, and it doesn't. You just kind of feel bad because she is so nice.
Yeah.
Like I've definitely had her like flop a joke, and I'll just jump right on it and start slamming, and then I'm just like, shit.
Yeah.
She's just nice.
Is she nice though? She's like a rich
nice.
person that made money off like beauty pageants, and now
really,
now I mean I really don't understand why she's on TV.
Well, she left Red Eye.
Yeah,
she's pursuing acting, I think.
Oh man, hilarious.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I just got an audition in the mail for 2 Broke Girls, so things are going pretty well for me too.
Audition in the mail?
The email.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like, oh man, can I even? I was reading the dialogue and I'm like, I don't even know if I can. This is the worst show I've ever read.
It's just the N-word 4 times in a row.
And every once in a while you get like, I'm like a terrible actor, but I'll read something, I'm like, I could do this. It's just me.
Yeah.
But then you get one and you're just like, well, no one fucking. It's like that Friends dialogue where you're like, this is a bad idea. Like no one.
Right.
If you find this funny, I don't want to make it. I don't want to bring you joy.
There was a show on country music television called Working Class, and I got sent the sides and the script for it to audition for it when it before it was produced. And I remember I was like 21 when I got it, and I remember reading it and being like, this is such dog shit. It was like filled with typos and stuff. And like the show opens where they're in like a grocery store and they're checking out, and like they get to and they have to like take items out of the cart because they don't have enough money. And then she's like, okay, well we got to save $10.37. Piece of cake. Oh, a piece of cake. And she removes a piece of cake.
Oh no.
They're like, did you steal this from a popsicle stick?
Jesus Christ.
Who wrote these jokes?
Piece of cake. Ooh, piece of cake.
Yeah, ooh, a piece of cake. There's the answer. Easy peasy. Oh, here's some peas. It's literally, it's like, the joke is the show opens and then we just jingle our keys at the camera as if we're trying to entertain a baby.
Well, the painful thing is when you go to the audition and they're like giving you notes and they're just like, we got to say it like, and I was like, no, I mean, I'm mocking your dialogue. It's bad dialogue, so I'm mocking it.
Do you have any TV shows you're on now you want to plug?
I'm on Conan December 5th.
Sweet.
Got I like the set, and then at midnight the next night. So
December 5th, 2 days before the both the John Lennon and the Dimebag Darrell murder anniversary. No, wait, hold on. Sorry, Dimebag Darrell in Pearl Harbor. When did Lennon die?
2 equally tragic events.
Wait, same day, right? Wasn't Lennon also Pearl Harbor?
I'm not sure.
It's Pearl Harbor, Dimebag Darrell. Fuck, now I'm going to get a million. The thing is, I can't say anything on this podcast where I'm like, what was it again? Because I always fuck up whatever fact it is. And then I get a million people to DM me, and they're like, oh, well, actually.
Also, I have a podcast that is probably going to come out in a few weeks called Keeping Joe.
Keeping Joe.
Keeping Joe. It's me, Joe Mackey, and Phil Hanley. And Joe, it's called Keeping Joe because he doesn't want to do it. So it might only last like 2 episodes. He said he'll give us like 5 or 6 probably.
Hell yeah.
So it might be a 5 or 6 episode thing, but it's going to be fun because Mackey is he's a fucking
super
odd
funny.
duck.
Yeah.
And Sam's one of the funniest dudes. If you don't know stand up, check him out.
Thanks, man.
We're at the Big Hunt in DC this weekend. So if you have a time machine and can come yesterday.
Have you done any DC stuff while you're here? Have you done any of the tourist shit?
Nah, I mean I've been here a bunch. I've done it all. You know, we were at Draft House 5 months ago.
Yeah, pretty.
Air and Space Museum. America's
It is
favorite
cool.
museum.
It is cool.
When the shutdown happened, that's how the local news was covering it. They're like, "We're here outside of the Air and Space Museum, everyone's favorite museum,
Because it's the least gay one.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
got some cool shit from
because you
space.
can touch the exhibits.
Yeah.
It's not, but you don't have to be quiet in the Air and Space
Yeah.
Museum.
I want to go to the Creationism Museum. I haven't been there, but
I haven't been there, but so many comics go there, and that's like such like the bit to go to the Creation.
Well, I'm not going to do a
Museum.
bit about it. I just want to see
Yeah,
it. I know
yeah,
Marin
yeah.
has a bit about it, but
Oh,
I want.
does he?
But apparently, they charge like $60 to get in because they know that people go there to mock
to
it.
troll.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Damn, I don't want to pay that.
I don't wanna pay
$60.
There's no actual fun museum to go to. There's
That's
never a
good.
museum I've been to that charges admission where I'm like, this is fucking great.
yeah, I usually go out of a sense of guilt because my mom's an artist, so I'll go to like MoMA with her or something. But I will. Yeah, it's usually
Right.
What kind of art does your mom do?
It's abstract and painting. They're really good.
Are you one of her projects? Burn. Yes. And that's just like we had Adam here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. What kind of art? I guess we have like 5 more minutes to kill. Sorry.
This is like when you say goodbye to someone and then
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm going that way."
Yeah,
too.
you have to walk, and then you take the train.
I'm
That's
sorry,
the
we
worst.
can end it now. It doesn't matter. I mean,
Yeah.
It
we
was
already
good.
have
How
these
long was
people's
it? How long
money,
was the
so
episode?
we're about 55 minutes.
It was a good.
Oh,
it was a good
no,
episode.
you know what? We're at an hour, so fuck you guys. Sam, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Oh, and buy my album. It's called
yeah,
Class Act. It's on iTunes.
It's a great
good
album.
Buy his
Yeah.
album. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Oh,
Good.
we got a live show coming up too.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
When?
The Monday after Thanksgiving.
Do you know
At-
the date?
At Come On
Do you
Everybody.
know the fucking date?
No, I don't fuck it. They can put it
Then
together.
shut the fuck up, dude.
Monday after Thanksgiving at Come On Everybody. That's the actual name of the bar. People have asked me at shows, they're like, all right, but you guys say Come On Everybody and it's clearly some kind of jizz joke. It's like, no, that's what the bar's called, everyone. It's in Crown Heights.
It's actually in Bed-Stuy. Bed-Stuy, do or die. Yeah, that's right. That's my neighborhood. I've been living there 2.5 months. Old school, original Bed-Stuy.
So, yeah,
like
I
that's
walk
November
home. If
28th.
it's dark out,
November
you better
28th,
believe
thank you,
I'm
Sam.
walking home quickly. I never have headphones in. I'm scared. Always scared. I've been scared my entire life. Bed-Stuy style.
Well,
All
not
right.
anymore.
Not anymore, because I'm tough now.
Thanks to Donnie.
Yeah.
Donnie
Donnie.
Casino.
I wear my Make America Great Again hat, and it's like a fucking helmet.
You would get so fucked up if you wear that in your
Yeah, yeah,
neighborhood. You would immediately get robbed.
You know, I kind of want to do a BuzzFeed video where I put a Make America Great Again hat on a guy with Down syndrome and then send him through one of the protests. And
It's like Die Hard 3.
Yeah, well, yeah. But it's like, you know, this makes you think, doesn't it? And people are like, no, not really. And I'm like, BuzzFeed comedy.
To frame it as comedy would be the best. Because it's just you pulling a cruel prank on a retarded person.
BuzzFeed comedy. All right, thanks,
fuck.
guys. Goodbye.